Welcome to the 21st Annual Awards for Cablecasting Excellence of the PEGASYS TV Center of Time Warner Cable in Ithaca, New York. I'm so happy to see a lot of very, very dear faces here to join me to celebrate the best of public access and educational access programming that Channel 13 and Channel 16 have to offer the Tompkins County community. My name is Lauren Stefanelli. I'm the Access Coordinator Manager here at PEGASYS, and I'll be your host tonight as we honor the best in public and educational access programming from 2005 with our 2006 PEGASYS Awards. This is an awards competition, which means that the producers this year have entered the things that they thought represented the best that they could do all year, and then we have had judged competition of these entries, and the judges have, the three independent judges that we have for this year have chosen the best of the best, and they will be honored tonight with our wonderful PEGASYS statuette. So we're going to be doing a lot of clapping, and we're also going to be doing a lot of looking at each other's works. We have 1-minute clips of each of the 29 entrants to our competition this year that we'll be taking a look at, and I really like doing this part because I always find that people tell me that they're surprised at what everybody else is doing. People, often we're so busy with what we're doing that we don't take enough time to admire and give feedback and appreciate each other's work. So the PEGASYS Awards is time to really widen your view and get a little bit of a perspective of the range of things that appear on public access and educational access programming. And I think that when you look at that, you'll kind of maybe take a second look at how often you turn your dial to Channel 13 and Channel 16 and really appreciate what local, unpaid volunteer producers, how they enrich the community with news, information, entertainment, and artistic productions. So I'm very glad that you're here to join me. And before we start, what I would like to do is say a special thank you to our judges. We had 3 judges this year who, purely out of love of PEGASYS and community television and snacks, looked at all 29 entries and sat down in a room where they were, surrounded by tigers and forbidden to leave until they'd watched them all and judged them all and finished all the Chinese food. Anyway, these guys did one heck of a job because 29 entries is a lot of viewing for them to do. So I'd like to recognize them personally, and one of our judges is here tonight. And she's here in the back of the room, and if you wouldn't mind standing up when I call your name, that would be great, because then everybody can know who you are, and they can thank you personally. Each of our 3 judges is different every year. In fact, when I've tried to use people twice in a row, they said, but I did this already, you can't ask me again. So, you really can't say the fix is in with the PEGASYS Awards, because every year it's a completely different set of judges that have never done it before and may never do it again. This year, our theme for judges was people who are past PEGASYS Awards winners. So all 3 of our judges are past PEGASYS Awards winner. And the one who's come here tonight is a 2-time PEGASYS Award winner, Basima Banu, who's right back there. So stand up and let everybody thank you. We greatly appreciate your efforts. None of this is possible without the judges. You can't have a judge competition without judges. That's the nature of the game. Our other 2 judges are, I think we got the monitor up a little too loud there, are Marilyn Rowland, who won a PEGASYS Awards in 2003 and participated in a couple of other PEGASYS Awards winning programs as a comedic actress, and Jason Van Stavern, who won a PEGASYS Award in 2004 for his BMX bike racing video, which was very exciting. So thank you very much to Basima and Marilyn and Jason for your hard work. One round of applause for the judges, please. Okay, those of you who are with us tonight have a program that shows what the entries are, what the categories are, but for those of you who are watching at home, I'm just going to tell you what the categories are briefly. We've got 7 categories: documentary, performing arts, comedy variety, religion, philosophy, short subject, news magazine, and public affairs. So there's entries that are competing within their category in each of those 7 categories, which we're going to look at one after another. And then finally, We've got 2 channels that have entries, one for public access for Channel 13 and one for educational access for Channel 16. Public access is things made by any member of the public that wants to make a non-commercial TV show, and educational access is for schools, and whether K through 12 schools or colleges or universities. And we have entries from both of those. So all of the public access shows will be also, in addition to competing in their category, they'll be competing against all the other public access shows, and we'll honor the 2 highest scoring public access programs, and the 2 highest scoring educational access programs will also be honored. And those 4 programs that are kind of like the best of show at Westminster, the best of show at Pegasus, will be sent on by Time Warner to a national access competition called the Hometown Awards, which will be held this July in Boston, Massachusetts. So there they'll be competing against several thousand entries from all over the countries of access programs produced by people in access centers from sea to shining sea. And so don't leave at the end of Category 7 because we still have our best of show to do. All right, so let's get the shindig rolling with our first category, documentary. Documentary is a big category, and these programs I think would kind of fall under documentary profile. We've got 2 entries. The first is an episode of Amnesty International produced by Wies van Luken, and the second is a program called Fly Fishing in Fall Creek, produced by Don Bazley and his students at Tompkins Cortland Community College. So we've got clips of both of those. Let's take a look.
Well, we saw 1 fish caught so far today, and this is Carol Farkas, who co-teaches the fly fishing class along with Joe. Carol, that was a really nice fish. What'd you get that fish on?
Oh, thanks, Don. This fish was caught on a beadhead nymph. It's actually called a green weenie.
We couldn't go to the same window that the white folks go to and use the same bathroom, and we had to be second. If we get there first, or get there at the same time as the white person, then we had to wait until they get served, then we'd be served. We didn't even go to the school that they went to because we wasn't really allowed there. So we were just taught to just stay with where we were. And when they integrated up there at Oak Grove, they had one white lady, I think, that was what they called integrated, but I wouldn't call it integrated. They had one white person to make things look legal. And the rest was black, and it stayed that way for a while.
Okay, those are our 2 entries. You can give them a hand, yes? And the way it works in terms of scoring is that there's a content score and a technical score. And because this is public access, not NBC, the content score is more important than the technical score. I think if you watch public or educational access television, you'll find that people are learning, people are not television professionals, or they're learning to be television professionals, they're still in a learning stage. And sometimes shows are rough around the edges, but they have heart and they have important content, and that's what's really important in terms of our judging this competition. So the content score is 60% of the score compared to the technical elements. And I believe that we do have the scores for all the categories to come up here. So if you could put those up, Paul, on the screen, you will see that the winner for the documentary category is Fly Fishing on Fall Creek by Don Bazley. And I'd like to also recognize his crew members, who are students, if any of them can come up: Alex Barnett, Dave Bloomingdale, Luke Hutchings, Andrew Perdue, and are you one of those people?
Barnett, yes.
Alex Barnett, And this is the chance for you to say a couple words about, how you did it and how you feel about your experience.
Okay, well, I was the producer of this show, and my students worked as the crew. This is Alex Barnett and Dave Bloomingdale, Andrew Perdue, and Luke Hutchings, as was just mentioned, Lauren. Basically, we wanted to show people about some special things that go on here in Ithaca that a lot of people don't know about, such as salmon fishing in Fall Creek. And a lot of people that saw it said, oh, I didn't even know that there were salmon in Ithaca. And so got a lot of feedback from it. A lot of people said they enjoyed the show. I actually, while I'm here, I'd actually like to raise this award and hear a round of applause for Lauren for the hard work she does here at Pegasus. And also salute everybody that takes time to produce community television. And I think I watch it a lot more than people would believe, probably. And there's a lot of good stuff out there. And I definitely encourage people to do more and keep on doing what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Wait.
Oh.
Why did she put the fish back? That's what she was doing in that clip. She was letting the fish go. It was a big fish.
Well, actually, I also should thank Joe Cambridge, who is the host of the show with me. He teaches fly fishing at TC3. And Joe taught me how to fly fish. And part of our creed is you catch and release, and that way, next time you're fishing, there's going to be a fish there to catch. Because we're all such good fishermen that if we kept all the fish, there would be none in the creek. So I'm kidding there. But that's why they were letting it go. And the people that watched it, I think, learned a lot about the basics of fly fishing. And if you wanted to learn more, you could take the class with Joe up at TC3, I suppose. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations. Okay, our next category is performing arts, and we've got 3 entrants in the performing arts category. The first is Homemade Jams by Jurden Alexander. The second is No Idea by Mike Brutvan, who has also been our wonderful caterer tonight. And our third is Romeo and Juliet, which is also by Don Bazley and his TC3 students. And before we show this clip, I'd just like to mention a couple words about all 3 of these producers. Jurden Alexander has been producing Homemade Jams for, I think, 3 years now. Is that right? He's not here. He's around the corner somewhere, I think. But he has done the most amazing job at bringing local musicians to the screen of anyone. Lots of people come here and say they're going to put musicians on the screen, and they're going to go and shoot local bands, but a lot of people get so hung up in production and post-production, and it might be months before they get one little music event to come as a finished program. Jurden goes out to a band performance on a Friday night, and by next Tuesday, it's on TV, an hour show, finished, done. He goes out with one camera, he edits, he's quick, he's done, the sound is good, the visuals are good, and he just does it week after week after week after week, and he's been doing it for 3 years, and it's just unbelievable. It surpasses in volume, and just making accessibility of local music to local people here far beyond what any of us can really be able to go out and see ourselves. He had things from grassroots on TV the very next week, show after show. I think he's just done a phenomenal service to local music scene and the local community with what he's been doing, and I'm really glad that he entered the competition this year, because I've been trying to talk him into it for the past 2 years. Mike Brutvan has been producing No Idea for 9 years, I think. Is that right? 8 years, and he still finds that the title is appropriate, because he hasn't. If it ever seems like it has an idea about what it's about, he's like kicking himself and very angry, and he thinks that he hasn't succeeded in his show if it makes some kind of thematic sense. So he works hard at making it not make sense, and if any of you have seen his show, it's very, very distinctive. It's a form of video art involving feedback and mixing all kinds of images together in a way that allows creative, spontaneous things to happen, which sometimes are just really, really miraculous. And finally, I also wanted to mention about Mike Brutvan that he catered all our food tonight, and I think all of us have enjoyed his tacos. Thank you very much. And Don Bazley, of course, is the video instructor at Tompkins Cortland Community College, and he's very committed to getting more students involved in learning to do TV as a career and learning to really get the technical chops to turn their ideas into something that they really feel happy about. And many students have come through his courses at TC3, and when they get done, where do they go? Where can they get access to equipment? They come here, and always we find that they're well-trained, they're eager, and they really have a very good grounding with the instruction that they get at TC3. So if I can put a plug out for TC3's video program, I think that they really, really have upgraded their facilities with new technology, upgraded their teaching staff, upgraded their number of courses, and the quality of everything the past few years has jumped and jumped tremendously, and we're just delighted to see the results. So, with all of that introduction, let's take a look at the 3 contenders for the performing arts category. Well, I think you can, I think you can see that this is just really the tip of the iceberg in terms of the types of cultural and artistic programs that you can see on public and educational access. In fact, there's many, many, many more. So if you're watching at home and you're teased, please tune in to 13 and 16 more often. If you check our website at www.pegasusaccess.org, you can see our entire program schedule, and you'll link right to Ithaca College Television's program schedule as well, and you can see what's on 13 and 16. But right now, let's get to the scores for the performing arts category, if we could put those up. And you'll see the winner is Homemade Jams. And really, nobody has worked harder for this than you. And what would you like to say to people about it?
I'd like to I'd like to say there's a lot of hard work involved in producing a program, but I agree with Don as well that there's a lot more going on here than people realize at public access, and I think it should be called public asset rather than public access.
Thank you. All right, moving on to our third category, comedy variety. It's kind of a catch-all for a number of different kind of programs, all of which are seeking to entertain. And there are 3 entries from Ithaca College Television in here, one from our local public access, and one from Lehman Alternative Community School, produced by high school students. So we've got 5 entries. The first 3 are These Are the News by Jesse Porter, an ICTV production. My Loyal Imposters, also an IC production by Andrea Adams and Matt Weiner. Unicorn Boy, #1 by Peter Berg and Mike Wechsler. That Damn Gay Show by Gary Tracy. And Tales of the Ox by Carl Matteo and his Alternative Community School students. So without any further ado, let's take a look at the clips.
Josh, I cannot wait another second to meet with Dawn.
Why, something the matter?
Yes, ever since she left, this place has become a beehive of male chauvinists. I can't get a word in edgewise.
But there were male chauvinists before Dawn left.
So why am I being ignored then? Are you saying it's because I don't do any work around here? Because I do, Josh. I do a lot.
No, I was just saying that that's the problem. You know, maybe there's a way you can make it work to your advantage.
Meaning?
Well, isn't there like a feminine charm or something? I mean, that's what they say in the body spray ads.
Hey, Janet, I was wondering. So, you're Janet Sajak, right? Does that mean you're related to Pat Sajak?
Yep.
So what, are you guys siblings or something?
Nope.
Just some kind of relative?
Yeah.
Wheel!
Did you take the last cup of coffee?
We're called in here to die. You know this is completely unacceptable, right?
Hey, do I come to your house and knock on the way you live?
So yeah, let's meet up. When are you free? You know, for you, I can be available anytime.
I'm not busy tonight.
Well then, just come over.
Okay. See you in about a half an hour?
Okay, great. Well then, pretty lady, I will see you soon. Oh, I live on 110 Valley Road, apartment 1. Just walk in. Oh, a little help?
Oh my God, did you hear about the new dolphin? Dolphins are so cute. OMG, I know. Oh, gross. Here comes that freak with the horn. Don't look at him.
Dwayne, do you have any idea what this means? Harry, listen, the Navy trains dolphins to breach the hulls of spy submarines. There's a ship coming into port tomorrow carrying rare Star Trek Deep Space Nine trading cards. Now, these are special edition Klingon versus Cardassian cards. Do you see where I'm going with this? No. We could teach this dolphin to break into the cargo ship. There were only 3,000 packs ever made, and they could be ours. Come on, trading cards from Star Trek, Deep Space Nine.
Perry, I'm not going to help you kidnap the dolphin, especially not for some stupid trading cards.
We don't have to steal it. We just had to train it to break free on its own, and then swim to the harbor and collect our trading cards. They would never know it was us.
Hi, folks. We got a special guest in the studio tonight. I'm glad you could make it. Well, I want to thank you for having me on the show. Hey, folks. Oh, I wonder, you brought something tonight with you, didn't you? You brought a little something from your past? we were doing History Day today. Yes, as a matter of fact, I did. I bought a very interesting book. It's actually almost it's almost as old as my coming out when I became a gay man. What is it? It's from 1977. It's a first edition of The Joy of Gay Sex. Wow. 1977, huh? Is that about when you came out? Yeah, I sort of related to the beginning of my actual becoming, coming out of the closet, becoming a gay man. I mean,
Yeah, start there.
I think something's going on between Danielle and Caleb. I mean, I don't know how far it's gotten, but I can usually tell those kind of things. And just the way that she looks at him, and the way he, kind of sometimes brushes up against her. It's, sexual. Then.
I've been a fan of a lot of these series for a long time, and since I have this platform, I will tell you my very favorite part of the Loyal Imposters that I watch that I can never forget because it's just my favorite thing. That character that we saw that was sitting on the throne, talking on the phone, he's an artist, and in one of the episodes, he has his first opening at a gallery, and his most successful painting, for which he comes home with $500 in cash, was paper plates that had been soiled by a group eating pizza, and he took the paper plates and he put them in a grid on the wall, and somebody bought that whole thing as a painting, as a work of art for $500, and he was so happy. As an artist, he's a success. All of these shows, in fact, the Unicorn show I hadn't actually seen, although it seems like it's giving, the next generation of South Park a run for its money. And I think that anybody who's never tried to do comedy has no idea how difficult it is. We've all watched comedy. It seems really easy while you're watching it, and some people are naturals at it, but a lot of this stuff, it requires scripting and long conversations and trying it out on people and writing it and getting the actors to do it the way that will make people laugh. It's really very hard. And the fact that people are trying to do it and succeeding here, I think is really wonderful, and they deserve all the encouragement we can give them. So right now, let's give one of them an award. Let's see what the scores are for the comedy variety category. And you can see the winner is Unicorn Boy. I think somehow we don't have anybody here from Ithaca College to accept, so I'm going to hold up the award and recite the names Peter Berg and Mike Wechsler, who are the producers of Unicorn Boy, and I think they really came up with quite an amazing job of animation. Keep in mind, these are students in school. They didn't get any course credit for that. They did that all on their own time and came up with something that was really funny, and it made me laugh all the way through. So congratulations, Unicorn Boy from Ithaca College. Okay, the next category is religion philosophy, and sometimes there's things that are pretty uniform, sermons from different churches. In this particular year, we have an amazing range of programs under the religion philosophy categories. There's a couple shows that really are philosophy, a couple shows that really are religion, and a couple shows that are sort of a mix of that, of the two. And I think that it's a really interesting, eclectic mix, and it really reflects the diversity of Ithaca. So let me read the contestants. The first is, how do you spell Presbyterian? And I can spell it, by the way. If you were to ask me, I could spell that. By Elaine and John Weiss. The next is Right Angle, produced by Mark Finkelstein. The third is Good News, produced by Nancy Raza. And the fourth is, and I probably can't pronounce this because there's a bunch of little apostrophes here, No Info Mercury, HGS, produced by Allison Rawlings. Did I even come close, Allison, to saying that right? Oh, non-fo mercury. Oh. Oh, it was a way homer for me. Okay, non-fo mercury. Okay, well, we've got 1-minute clips of each of these contestants to watch, and I can't really lead into it any better. You're just going to have to see for yourselves. So let's play them.
Off the television that Northminster Church canceled its services today. That was Barry Downing's old church. They must be worried about frostbite on people. That's what the evil one is trying to get us into, frostbite and blowing snow on the road. But we shall not oblige him, right? Here we go. At least we probably won't hit a deer. They're probably yarded up somewhere, so one more menace to keep us from worship service has been conquered.
Pro-choicers are very interested in protecting the lives of humans, specifically adult women who you can't really argue whether or not they're alive. And studies have shown that legalizing abortion, making it safe, making it provided by a good doctor in a clean environment, it doesn't make abortions happen. It provides a safe medical procedure, and that prevents the deaths of human beings. So pro-choicers in that respect are extremely concerned with protecting human lives.
What would you say to somebody who said, okay, I mean, if you're going to have abortions, yes, having it in a medical environment makes it safe for the woman, but of course, it's not safe at all for the unborn baby. The unborn baby is certain to die. So, I mean, from that perspective, it's, there's safety. You're focusing exclusively on the safety of the woman. Scott, can I invite you in?
Sure.
There's a king coming, amen, from Judah. Yeah. He's going to have the power. I believe Isaiah said, for unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given. Amen. And the government is going to be upon his shoulders. Amen. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor. Amen. The mighty God, the Prince of Peace, the everlasting Father. Yeah. Got to the 53rd chapter, and he said, well, who hath believed our report? Yeah. And to whom is the arm of the Lord been revealed? All right, now. He saw him again, he said, for he was wounded for our transgression. Yeah. He was bruised for our iniquity. And the chastisement of our peace was upon him, but with his stripes we are healed. Yeah. That all we like sheep have gone.
Rainbow of power. The colors of stones are a vital clue to unlocking their magical uses. Colors are energies that direct effects in our minds. As an example of this, many prisons now paint prisoner holding areas a light pink hue. When aggressive criminals are placed in these rooms, they become calm. Why? Pink is a soothing, loving color.
Well, I think you can agree that the range in this category was pretty broad. Sometimes I wish that we had a large enough center to offer 40 categories in 4 different divisions like the National Hometown Awards can do. We're kind of a small place. We're not quite big enough to do that, and possibly some of these shows might diversify into different categories if there was a larger place to view them. But still, I do think that is really interesting seeing them together and considering religion, philosophy from the different angles that these producers took. Well, let's see what the judges thought, and let's see what the scores were. And the winner is, as you can see, Right Angle. Congratulations, Mark. And this is Joey Kilmer, the director, the regular director for Right Angle. And I'd like to recognize also Peter Davis, the director who has just graduated. Joey, this is yours. And also Stu Carpenter, who has worked on some episodes of the show. Mark, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much, Lauren. There are so many people to thank, but our show is called Right Angle. So if you're coming on to our show as a guest, you sort of know, what you're coming into. And therefore, I particularly want to thank guests who are willing to come on to our show who maybe have a left angle on things, or certainly, do not share our political perspective. So that, for example, on this show, which was exclusively dedicated to a debate on abortion, we had Scott Heyman, the head of Planned Parenthood in town, who came on, as well as a woman from a feminist pro-choice group at Cornell. A couple of weeks ago, Janet Steiner appeared on our show to debate the library tax referendum. So I think it is really the willingness of others who have other points of view that are willing to come on and have a good conversation about the issues that really makes our show. So we're looking forward in a couple of weeks, for example, to having a debate on the death penalty. And again, we're going to have folks from the Cornell chapter of Amnesty International on to debate us on that. So we particularly welcome and appreciate those with a different point of view. Thank you.
Congratulations. Mark? Someone give this to him. Would you give this to Mark? Okay. Moving on now. Our next category is going to go quicker because this category is called Short Subject. However, since things are really short and since we're showing 1-minute clips, in I think one case we're going to get to see almost the entire video. But we do have 3 contestants, and let me read them off. The first is called Postcards from Tompkins County, produced by Vies Van Luken and shot by Jurden Alexander, who we met just a little while ago. The second is called The Passion of the Crust, and, well, you'll just have to see that. Produced by Paul Smith, and with a lot of help from a very, very talented group of artists. And the third is called The Fantastic Four Song, produced by Ray Wall, and also starring Ray Wall in a spectacular fashion. And I really can't, you just have to see you just have to be there. But I will tell you that if I had been a judge, my favorite of the whole competition is one of these entries, and every time I saw anyone, I made them watch it, and I think I've seen it like 100 times, and my jaw drops every time I look at it. So I'll be interested to see if any of you guys have a similar reaction. So let's take a look at the short subject category now.
Daddy, what's that man doing up there?
Mr. Fantastic can't stretch all day if this go fades away. The Human Torch burns the sky, thinks this is clobbering time. The Invisible Girl, Mr. Fantastic and the Human Torch. Hey, here comes the thing. Go, Fantastic Four. Go, Fantastic Four. Leave on. Go, Fantastic Four. It's clobbering time. Go, Fantastic Four. Stretch out. Fantastic Four. Fade away. Fantastic Four. Go. It's clobbering time. Flame on. Stretch out.
Oh my goodness. Did we spill the beans on that one? Well, let me say a couple words about them anyway. In each of these cases, in the first case, Jurden just got lucky with that deer. It's so amazing to see the deer following him like that. That was a wild deer in Redbutt Woods, acting in a way that few people get to see a deer that close and literally curious about the camera and following it around. That's the one that I mentioned that I just keep showing it to people because I'm so amazed and I can just watch it over and over and over again. The other two productions involved not so much being lucky, but working very, very, very hard. In each case, it took a big group of people, a lot of creative time, a lot of energy, a lot of sets, locations, scripts, writing, lights, and all kinds of effort to put just a couple of minutes of video on the screen. And in both cases, they did a fabulous job. And in the case of Passion of the Crust, I believe that you guys have sent it to Hometown, to Sundance, haven't you? Is that right? No? No?
What a great idea, though.
What a great idea. Okay. I thought that there was a competition or a festival that you sent it to that you guys went and watched it in. But I'll ask you about that another time. But meanwhile, the other one, Ray Wall's Fantastic Four video, he has taken that video and flown all over the universe with it. It has been on the internet, it has been in all different countries, it has been here and there and everywhere, and it has a huge buzz surrounding it. And it's just amazing that it started here. And all of those running sequences were done, actually, I'm not sure if I should mention where they were done. Seems to be an issue about that, but if you want to know where they were done, it's a secret, and you can go and ask Ray Wall later where they were done, and you'll be quite amazed. Meanwhile, let's put up the scores and see what the judges thought of these three videos, and you'll see the winner is The Passion of the Crust. Accepting for Paul Smith is his collaborator, Brian Van Kampen, and let me grab the trophy here. And let me mention also the names of the other collaborators involved in this production. Aaron Weiss, who is the writer, and Brian, of course, who's standing here before you. Amanda Brutvan, who's not here tonight, but she was the little girl that you saw at the end turning from the TV. And Bob Finley, who was in the video as well as an actor.
Yep, you bet.
And Brian, would you like to say a few words about what it took to put this production together?
Sure. First of all, as a film critic for the Ithaca Times, I just want to say, Ray, the video is better than the movie, and good luck with the sequel, man. I'm you know, right on. Well, we can kind of flash back to when I got the boot from Time Warner in November of 2003. Of course, I've been a film critic somewhere or other for almost 20 years now, but I think the secret dream I always had that I never told anybody was that I wanted to make film someday, and it's been really gratifying to meet someone like Aaron Weiss, who's such a talented writer, and of course my longtime collaborator Paul Smith, who did all the videography and all the editing and post-production. Long and short of it is that our first movie, Endless Winter, was designed to sort of be like a Spinal Tap or best in show type movie, kind of a mockumentary, so that meant if it had any rough edges, then that would sort of fit the format of what we were doing. And we were so knocked out by the way that turned out, and the sort of reception it has been getting at various festivals, we decided to really step up with the Passion of the Crust and really try to make a real movie. And one thing I'm really proud of is that it's kind of like a sketch film, like Monty Python, where no scene really relates to any other scene. So every single day that we shot was like a little mini movie. We had cavemen, we had people speaking Aramaic, we had a fight in an alley. You know, we had all these sort of things that I've always wanted to try. And then if you've seen, like me, if you've seen over 10,000 movies, you sort of get some ideas for cool shots that you like. And, you know, I'm sure I owe like 20 directors 20% of this award just because we ripped off the best. And, Passion of the Crust is sort of, people misinterpret the title, I think, because they think it's really a riff on the Mel Gibson movie, which, despite the crucifixion scene, it really isn't. It's really more of a spoof on Atkins and low carb and how, you know, bread kept us alive and healthy for centuries, but now it's evil again. So we're sort of marketing it as reefer madness for bread, a series of cautionary tales. And I have some people that I'd like to thank, if I could.
Yeah.
Like I thanked Aaron and Paul because without those two, I know we couldn't have made this thing. We also want to thank all the people who let us shoot in their houses, and special thanks to Mayor Carolyn Peterson, who hooked us up with the right people at City Hall so that we could actually shoot in the alley on Green Street, the City Hall alley, which has really great fire escapes, so you can get high-angle shots. We also want to thank our cast. I've always managed to avoid doing big casting calls and putting up audition flyers just by calling up all my talented actor friends and asking them if they want to come and work for a day. And it was really great. What we would do is we would just sort of shoot a sequence, and then we would edit that sequence really heavily, and then we would shoot another sequence and edit that sequence very heavily, so that by the time we got to the end, we just sort of stuck them together. And the last couple of editing sessions were really about just pace and tempo and transitions and getting from one scene to another. The other thing I'd like to mention is that Endless Winter, our last film, which won here, went on to the Hometown Video Awards, and I can't tell you what a joy it is to go to a place like Hometown, because they actually had a screening for about 40 people, and with the exception of myself and my mother, nobody knew us there at all. And I think when you make a comedy, it's maybe the riskiest kind of film you can make, because you're really throwing it all out there and saying, this is what I think is funny. And, it's really gratifying when people who don't know you and have never met you are laughing at your stuff. And it was probably one of the best days of my life, being there with my mom and accepting the award. It was nice to know we were getting the award before we got there. It's, it's really terrible to sit here and sweat it out and not know if you're going to win or not. But I want to thank the cast and crew, and thank especially PEGASYS for letting us use the gear, because we shot with PEGASYS audio equipment and with PEGASYS camcorders, but we did all of the post-production in our apartment, and that's the great thing about digital videos, that anybody with a camcorder and an editing program and a dream can get out there, and it's much more democratic now. And if anybody tells you you need like tons of crew people and lots of money to make a movie, well, I think that the total budget for all of our 4 films at this point is probably about $300. So it's doable, and it's doable at a price. And oh, and I'd also like to accept this award on behalf of King Kong, which I think got robbed at the Academy Awards. Since it's award season, I think King Kong should have gotten a Best Picture nomination. I think King Kong should have gotten a Best Actor nomination. I think Naomi Watts should have gotten Best Actress. I think Peter Jackson should have gotten Best Director. And of course, it's going to win all the technical awards, which it should win. But I would have voted for King Kong over Munich. Anyway, thanks a lot, and see you next year, I hope.
Well, I think I got a possible judge for next year. All right, let's move on to the next category, which is called News Magazine. It used to be called News Magazine format, but this is just a little bit shorter. And this is for programs that are about current events, news sometimes with segments or anchors, or segments about issues that are possibly a little bit more heavily produced than a talk show with videotape segments and so on. We've got 4 entrants in this category, and 3 of them are from Ithaca College Television. The first is Sports Final, produced by Colin Bonsi. The second, Newswatch 16, by Jared Wiener, Aaron Inver, and Lindsay Knox. The third is The Gridiron Report, by Phil Stein and Adam Barton. And the fourth is Angley, produced by Mike Angley. If you guys have watched ICTV, you'll know that those 3 series, the 3 series that I mentioned, are regulars. They've been going on for a long time. In fact, Angley has been going on for a long time too. ICTV, all of the programs there are not produced for credit by students. They're produced on their own time, and series continue season after season because new students pick it up and take it over and become the new producer of that program for the year. And right now, Newswatch, of course, is the only local television news in Tompkins County, is on Channel 16 on PEGASYS, on one of the PEGASYS channels. And, of course, the sports programs as well, showing live coverage of local sports, are something that really lets us see what our local sports teams are doing. And the IC students who are covering their own games are providing commentary on them. And finally, I want to say something about the episode of Angley that we're going to see, because it's just so unusual, and it's so emblematic of what public access is about. Mike Angley has been making a show for about 9 years, and he comes in every week and he talks about issues, and he spends some time getting ready prior to the show. And one week, he was here ready to do his show, and a gentleman just walked in from off the street. We're open to the public, anyone can walk in. And he came and he started talking to me, and Mike was there and he was listening, and the gentleman said that he really wanted to talk to somebody about a current events issue that involved some problems at a local detention center for youth that involved allegations of abuse. And I listened to a story for a little while, and I said, geez, you know, that sounds serious. Maybe you should go to the police with that. And he said, oh, I've been there. No one would listen to me. I said, well, okay, then maybe you should go to the press, like, you know, the Journal or the Times or one of the papers that are near to where the facility is located. And he said, oh, I've been doing this for years. I've been going to them and telling them for years, and no one will write a story and no one will listen to me. And I went and I interviewed some of the kids, and I got videotaped interviews so I'd have, and it occurred to me to show those things, and still no one will listen to me. Well, Mike Angley listened to him. He spent a couple of weeks checking his facts to make sure that he felt that the guy was credible, and then he put him on his show. And if you guys have been reading the paper, the subject of his program has exploded into front page news, in part because he has taken the time to try and push the issue to the attention of people that can investigate the facts further and find out whether and what sorts of truth is in it and what needs to be done. And if you think about it as just an example of public access, somebody comes with an issue and says, I've got a problem, no one will listen to me, what do I do? That is really what public access is about, and it's just a really interesting example. So let's take a look at these 4 news magazine programs, and you all get a chance to see for yourselves.
Welcome back to Sports Final, everybody. As if they don't have enough issues already, the Lions and Vikings were both forced to use their backup quarterbacks this afternoon, with Joey Harrington filling in for a banged-up Jeff Garcia and Brad Johnson taking snaps in place of Dante Culpepper, who is out for the season. The Vikings certainly have had their share of troubles this season with the whole Cruz scenario, and exactly not playing well on the football field either. But early on, Brad Johnson in place of Dante Culpepper finds Michael Bennett for a 6-yard touchdown. And there's one happy fan with very large arms and a lot of tattoos. Later on, Joey Harrington is not exactly having his best afternoon of the year. He gets picked off by Antoine Winfield. He goes out of bounds, and Minnesota Vikings are up 17-0 at that point. That interception would set up a Nate Burleson touchdown catch. Check this out of the back of the end zone. Gets bobbled, and then with a one-handed grab, comes right in. Randy, who? They don't need him. The Vikings are doing just fine. That was up 24-0 at that point. And then things get even worse for Joey Harrington.
Live from ICTV Ithaca, News Watch 16 starts right now.
Election day was 3 weeks ago, but Enfield residents still don't know who their town supervisor is. Good evening, I'm Caitlin Hassler.
And I'm Ray Vieta. Gene Owens is leading Gary Fisher by 1 vote, 430 to 429. One military ballot and one absentee civilian ballot have yet to be counted, and both of those ballots are each under fire from one of the parties.
Officials at the Board of Elections are now preparing for their upcoming court appearance.
The judge says count the ballots, we count the ballots. If the judge says don't count the ballots, then the race will end right where it is now. You know, Gene Owens ahead by 1 vote over Gary Fisher.
The board will appear in court on December 13th, but a final decision is not guaranteed.
And tomorrow afternoon, the Tompkins County Industrial Development Committee is expected to vote on whether or not to approve tax abatement.
4th and 10 for Alfred. Keeley's in the shotgun. He's going to look to his right. And this pass is going to be ruled complete, but he's going to be a yard short of the first down. Ithaca takes the ball over on downs. And Ithaca is going to win this one 28-14. They win the Empire 8 automatic bid into the NCAA playoffs as they run the table in conference play. Coach, it's got to be satisfying to know that your team is going back to the playoffs this year.
That's what it's the goal that we set. It's to get back to the playoffs, and the best way to do that is to win your conference. We knew we had a tough conference with Fisher and Alfred evolving as an excellent team, which you saw Saturday. They were played very hard, and they were very tough to defeat. But it's great to come through a lot of the adversity that we faced this year. And now to have an opportunity to make a run for the national championship, which, you know, Ithaca's kind of has an idea how to do that. So we're excited about it.
All right, great.
Tonight, we have a special guest on the show who's going to expose the Louis Gossett Center that's located in Lansing, New York, right? We're going to talk about abuse. We're going to talk about abuse of power. We're going to talk about how these things have been reported for years. Nothing's been done. We want to know why. And the bottom line is, this is child abuse. Child abuse, true to what, you know, I mean, like, shouldn't happen in any community, right? That's correct. Okay, let's go to you. Here you go. All right, so describe for us the tape that we're gonna watch right now.
Well, this is a tape that I had interviewed some former residents on child abuse and sexual abuse allegations. Some of them would tell stories of how staff was, how they rug burned their face, how some residents had broken arms, and then some of the residents will tell about some of the sexual acts that were performed at the Louis Gossett Residential Center.
And your job there was?
Well, my job there was Youth Division A, and that's basically I would watch over the students at the time.
Like doing a scripted comedy or drama or whatever, I think you can see that a show of this nature, in some cases it involved a huge crew. To do IC Sports, they may have 6 cameras in the field plus a whole mobile truck and so on. In some cases, they've got a whole news crew with a set and so on. In some case, it's just one person with passion and an idea, and that really tries to let the community know what's going on. In all cases, I think we're all the richer for having programs of this nature on public and educational access. Let's see what the judges thought. And the winner is Angley. Congratulations. And this
Lauren.
certificate is for Dwayne, who was the person that you saw that was his guest on the show.
Yeah.
Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Dwayne is the shepherd that brought these kids to a newfound justice. Gwen Wilkinson, our new DA, is going after these guys. The subpoenas are already written. We're going after them. We're prosecuting all these people at Louis Gossett Jr. for breaking bones. Lee Jackson died from his injuries. He was restrained twice and he died. You know, there's Tyree Doty, who had his arm broken, and they kept lifting his arm up and after it was broken. This shouldn't exist. Why Dwayne couldn't get in to see the news after he left, Lauren and I said to her on there, they're like, how come the news didn't pick up on this, you know? And then if you know the local news people, you know why. You know, and this is a real issue of kids being tortured and child abuse. People in the media, you'll see Abu Ghraib prison, you'll see people in Cuba, Guantanamo. What about Lansing, New York? What about the children who get beaten and abused and killed in our own state facility that we pay for? And this is a rehab center. This is not a prison. This is a rehabilitation center. These are at-risk kids who go to this center to get rehabilitated. Instead, they get beaten, broken, and then killed. So thank God for Dwayne, who came through this door. Thank God for Lauren, who facilitates this place. We'd all be lost without her, and you all know that if we were all pilots. If we were all pilots, we'd be smashed into the side of a mountain somewhere without Lauren. So you did the right job, Lauren, and we do it all here. And I tell everybody, you got a problem, you come to somebody here. We all could have done it, and then, you know, it could have been anybody sitting there. But that's why access is important, because we make things happen. And maybe the national media can pay attention to what community access is all about, I really think. So thanks.
All right, now we're on to the last category, public affairs, and you can see that that's a long one. We've got 8 entries, and we're going to watch a clip from each, so that's a little bit of a lot of clips. However, I think that one of the things that I'm happiest about doing public access in Ithaca is how many public affairs programs there are. We have people that take issues so seriously, that are so passionate about them, in whether it be local or regional or national or international arenas, and they're willing to put their time and put their heart on the line and make programs that inform, that educate, that let people get involved, that let people really understand the issues before they go to the polls. And we're all beneficiaries of these programs. In many cases, in fact, I think in all cases but one, all of these programs are series. So we've got people who are committed to doing it either week after week or month after month and bringing issue after issue after issue. We've got one series here that makes a point to get every single candidate for office to have a whole half an hour or even an hour to talk about whatever the issues are. We've got another series that makes a point to put entire speeches on TV, another series that makes a point to get up to Cornell or in the community whenever there's a national or international speaker that comes that the rest of us can't all get up there to see, and get them on videotape and put that into everybody's living room so everybody can appreciate it. Let me read off the entries to this category, so before I keep just going on and on about this. The first one is Over the Shoulder, produced by Jurden Alexander. Next is Ithaca DSA Presents, produced by Theresa Alt. Third is Finger Lakes Forum, produced by Barbara Smith with host Ben Curtis. Fourth is For the Duration, produced and hosted by Robin Palmer. Fifth is Election Center Live, produced by Jared Weiner at ICTV, Ithaca College Television. Sixth is Political Point, produced by Will Metro. Seventh is Starlight Presents, produced by Gary Tracy. And eighth is Walk Across New York State for Healthcare, produced by Rebecca Elgie and Bernie Federley, who didn't just think up this title, Walk Across New York State. They actually took it into their heads to walk across New York State for healthcare from one end to the other. When they got back to Ithaca, after walking all the way across the state doing public rallies for single-payer healthcare, they got back to the Commons, and then somebody videotaped what they did there at a rally in Ithaca. They danced. They spent an hour dancing. I couldn't even believe this. We have some of the most energetic, committed, passionate, well-rounded people, and anybody that can do that and then produce a TV show about it to boot, plus rally people from one end of the state to the other, and these, I'm especially proud of them because they're new producers. They've never done it before, and they're still learning, and they're kind of red hot in terms of their learning curve. The rest of these producers are all experienced veterans, and what they have to bring is polish and experience and a passion in all their individual areas. So let's take a look at the programs that they've produced.
Another reason why this administration can't succeed is because its economic policy is doomed. There is no way that a government can continue to run up these $400+ billion deficits year after year without triggering a ruinous inflation. It happened as a result of the inflation. It happened as a result of financial policy during Vietnam, which was not nearly as egregious as the financial policy under the Bush administration. Inflation may take a year, it may take 2 years before the full impact is felt. When it's felt, there'll be a massive turning against Bush and all that he's done. And you know, the sad thing is that inflation hurts everyone in the country, but inflation especially hurts poor people. It hurts poor people more than it hurts rich people, because poor people don't have discretionary income. All of their income goes for food and housing and medical care, and that's about it. And those prices go up, and there's no way to get around it. A rich person may decide not to buy a cruiser, or I don't know, whatever, you know, a new car, something, and can somehow have a buffer, but inflation always hurts the poor more than it hurts the rich.
These veterans are not mere collateral damage. These veterans have been broken in body and spirit by their government, and it is our responsibility to see to it that they are cared for. That noble cause that you've been hearing about lately, that noble cause is peace. We need to bring our troops home. We need to bring them home now. And we need to scream and yell at the members of our government that we will not sacrifice one more life to this war, and we will not pay you one more dollar to perpetrate this abomination to our culture. Thank you very much.
When I was elected to the Assembly and then started it in January 2003, you remember that was the time when we were building up and clearly on our way to war again. And I was just starting my job in the Assembly, and so often people would stop and ask me if I was enjoying myself, if I was having fun. And I would say, well, I'm very happy to be here, but it's a roller coaster, you know, because our country is getting ready to go to war again. And so it was a very
some of the obvious things. Some other things that you would think people would easily know better than to do are hearing cases where you have a close relationship with one of the parties and you don't take yourself off the case.
That can be, I mean, I sit with several boards of zoning appeals and planning boards, and that question comes up all the time. And the fact of the matter is you're in a small village.
Yes. Exactly.
Everybody
knows everybody.
And they know what everybody's business is and whose car is parked in front of your house. At what point do you say, well, wait a minute, I can't hear this case?
You have to do it on a case-by-case basis. And basically, the analysis runs like this. If someone comes in, let's assume they're a defendant, and let's assume it's also a speeding case, a relatively minor matter. They're not going to jail for this. And I know them. The first thing I have to do is ask myself, do I feel comfortable treating this person just as though I did not know them? Am I going to be able to see them on the street later and have that not be an issue for me? Assuming it's not an issue.
Our news had become infotainment. You know, we knew about Michael Jackson, you know, but we didn't know about Al-Qaeda. Right. We didn't know about the Taliban in Afghanistan and so on. And you know, still, and still, and they said, oh, there was a great deal of hand-wringing, and oh, we have to improve. We need to do more foreign reporting. And now, you know, you look at it, and except for some a little bit of looking at Iraq. You know, we still don't get news. You know, you turn off the news and you go, well, what happened in China today?
Yeah.
What's going on in India? What's going on in Africa? What's going on in Europe? We don't even know what's going on in Europe. You know, from our news.
Yeah.
Many of us are learning to turn on the BBC and turn on other alternative news, and we try to learn something about what's happening in the rest of the world. But it's a real problem when we're the world superpower.
Yeah.
We have, you know, all these, you know, we have so much power, both in weaponry and economic power, and we're ignorant about the rest of the world. It's a very dangerous situation.
Yeah. I agree. But I am.
Had the opportunity to talk with incumbent George Dentis, the Republican district attorney candidate. Looks like he may have been defeated tonight, Lindsay, by Gwen Wilkinson. Caitlin had the chance to talk with Mr. Dentis earlier tonight. Let's go to that.
Thanks, guys. Now I'm here with George Dentis, who just heard some unfortunate news. Tell me, George, how are you feeling right now?
Well, the unofficial results, and I emphasize unofficial, are that I've lost the race. I saw the results of 55 districts reporting, meaning there were just a small handful left not yet reporting, and I was down by, approximately 1,400 to 1,500 votes, which is just about the number of absentees out. So there's no way I could pull it out through absentees, assuming all these unofficial results are accurately reported. So at this point, it looks like Gwen Wilkinson will be the new district attorney as of January 1st, and I'd like to congratulate her. It's a very tough job, and I'd like to wish her well, and I hope the whole community will join me in wishing her well in her job as district attorney.
Looking back on the past few months of campaigning, I know it's been...
Okay, and you will be the last caller. Okay? Hello, you're on the air with Political Pete.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
I'd like to say that I'm on MJ's side. I don't think he was touching. You know, maybe a little, you know, love touches here and there, but I don't think he was inserting, you know.
Yeah, but how do you explain the testimony from people that worked at the Neverland Ranch that said he saw him taking a shower with little boys, touching little boys, you know, a certain way?
He probably was touching, but he probably wasn't inserting.
You know, and then there's the porno. Then there's the pornos. The pornos he was showing to the little boys.
That's just the allegation. I think those workers there were paid off by the prosecution.
Well, how do you explain Jacko paying $20 million to the first case? What's up with that? That's hush money. You know?
No.
That, yeah.
He's silly. He's a good man. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He just likes playing with boys. Just like a lot of guys.
That's how.
Things that annoy me, and I don't understand why nothing is happening. More and more and more. Today I counted it. 4 different vehicles setting or either driving, setting at a stoplight or driving down the road, the driver on the cell phone talking. Hello, isn't there a law that's not supposed to be happening? And where are the cops? I'm sorry, but, you know, it really makes me angry. And then you wonder why people get hit. You wonder why, you know, things happen, because if you're on a cell phone, and I've got to tell you, I know it from firsthand experience. You're on a cell phone and you're driving down the road, you cannot pay attention to where you're driving or what's happening.
I'm Bernie Federle, and we're members of the Tompkins County Healthcare Task Force. We work for a single-payer healthcare system for New York and the United States. We walked over 350 miles across New York State to organize and create political will to reform our failing healthcare system.
The goals of this walk were to raise awareness about how dysfunctional our current healthcare system is and how many people are being hurt by the system in the way it's now configured. We also walk to create political will. We support 3 bills. There are 2 at the state level. An Assembly Bill 6576, sponsored by Richard Gottfried, and the Senate Bill S3459, sponsored by Eric Schneiderman. Both of these bills are single-payer national or New York State healthcare bills. At the national level, we support H.R. 676, which is
Well, that was a lot of clips, and I know that was a little bit longer than the other ones, but you know, I'm just so grateful that we have so many programs. Think about, you guys read the papers all the time and see how many passionate letter to the editor writers there are in the Ithaca newspapers. There are people that are very educated, very concerned about all kinds of issues. Well, the people that made these programs are people that took a step beyond writing a letter to the editor. They actually brought the issues to life and got the people who are responsible for making decisions that affect all of us on camera and asked them questions. And they dug down and researched the issues themselves and made sure that we all had enough information to make better educated decisions and to try and make change in our society. So if you guys are watching this show and you're someone who maybe you stop with kind of grumbling about something you don't like, or even you took a step of writing a letter to the editor, think about public access as a way to get your views across. We are here for you. We have an orientation coming up on Wednesday, the 21st. That's a Wednesday, right? Yep. Yeah. Wednesday the 21st from 7 to 8 o'clock here at 612 West Green Street. The orientation doesn't require sign-up. You can just come down. You can get a tour of this lovely studio and find out all about our free training classes and how you can get involved and make your own television show about anything you like: politics, arts, religion, philosophy, anything really that strikes your fancy or strikes a passionate chord in your heart. And I hope that some of you will rise from your couches and get on the other side of the camera and start making some TV like the people who have made these shows. All right, I procrastinated a little bit. Let's take a look and see what the judges thought of this category. And you'll see the winner is Ithaca DSA Presents. Produced by Theresa Alt. And Theresa, you had on your crew list Farah Hussein as having helped you on this program. Congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes. This is a lot like what Michael Angley was talking about. It's about going and picking up information. That event that you saw had, it was billed as a press conference. The press wasn't there. And yes, Farah has newly started to help me, but the show itself wouldn't be there week after week if it weren't for a lot of other people. I guess I'll name in particular John Coleman, who sometimes simply takes over so that I get a break, Kaisa Wilmer, Petra Hepburn, Wales Brown, all of whom are at times interviewers. And also taking things, not this specific episode, but taking the show as a whole, which is what makes the specific episode possible. I want to thank Kenny Ritter and Jim Blizzard, who have rescued me from innumerable technical difficulties along the way. And I also want us all to remember the person who got me here in the first place, Gene Finley.
Thank you, Theresa. Jean Finley, for those who haven't been around long enough to remember who she is, she passed away several years ago, but before she did, she was able to produce over 2,000 television programs about local issues, got every single local newsmaker, every candidate, every local official, every not-for-profit organization, representative, volunteers, kids of all ages, sizes, stripes, reading Martin Luther King Day poems, telling stories, reading things that they made. She brought people on the carpet. She brought people together. She brought people, our neighbors at the Southside Community Center, who are just a couple blocks from here but were miles away. She brought a whole camera crew in there and did a live show from Southside. once a month for about 2 years straight. She had boundless energy as her own energy faded, as her diabetes took more and more of her strength away. So I appreciate your mentioning her, and I'm glad to have a chance to echo that in these statements tonight. Lastly, on our agenda here is honoring the best of the best. You noticed when you were looking at the scores that there was a score sheet. It finally, the content and technical things ironed out into a number between 0 and 5, 5 being the best, and 0 being, well, you'd have to be really, I don't think anything got a 0. Nobody got a 0. But 5 was the best. And there were not too many people that got all the way up almost at 5, but there were a few people that made it over 4 in the combined average judges entry. And there were, obviously, these are numbers, so there are the highest scoring numbers. So I have the 2 highest scoring public access programs that we're going to send on to Hometown, and the 2 highest scoring educational access programs, which I'm going to send on to Hometown. And Paul, did you make a graphic for those numbers? No? Okay, well, in that case, you don't have any numbers to look at. I'm simply going to have to tell you. And as I read these names out, if these producers could come up to accept their award all at the same time on the same stage, I'd really appreciate it. The 2 highest scoring public access programs, and I really like this because both of these producers, for years I couldn't get them to enter because they thought the fix was in against them. So that they should both win in 1 year the best of the best is quite extraordinary and should wipe that thought out of their mind forever. The 2 highest scoring public access programs are Angley and Right Angle.
Thank you.
And the 2 highest scoring educational access programs are, let me grab these. Unicorn Boy, and I believe we don't have anybody from IC accepting, but that's okay, I'll stand in for them, and Fly Fishing in Fall Creek by Don Bazley and his TC3 group. And you can come up with him. All right, we're nearing the end of our PEGASYS Awards this year. I want to announce one more award for someone who is not here. But I want to say just a word about him anyway. And then after that, I'd like everybody who's an award winner to come up on stage, because we do like to do a group photo. But the person that I'd like to honor now, who is not here, is Jeff Spence. He has been a teacher at Ithaca High School since, and involved in video since 1993. And he first showed up here one day saying, I wonder if there's a way to put video cameras into the hands of my English class kids and let them do a video for their book report. And another day, another teacher came who was the shop teacher and said, geez, you know, we're trying to incorporate computers, and I wonder if we could do something with that. And we kind of helped get them equipment and introduce them to each other, and they put together a program that's still running today. And Jeff Spence didn't stop there. In addition to having a 4-credit program for his students, he also, in the summertime, he trained teachers, he trained students. He went all the way around the Ithaca City School District, starting up video programs from one to another. And this past year, he retired, and he moved on to become a principal in another district. And I suddenly realized how much we're going to miss him and how much we really respect what he's brought to educational access. So Jeff, this is for you, and I'm sorry I didn't get to have you here tonight, but I really want to say how much I appreciate what you've done. And if we could now have everybody who's a winner of any PEGASYS Awards tonight come up on the stage for our group photo and our kind of wave goodbye to everybody. And everyone else, don't leave, because no one leaves here empty-handed. And we will do our closing credits over our everybody standing on stage. For those of you at home, we do have an orientation on February 21st from 7 to 8. Come down and get involved in this. It's actually a really fun thing to do. You could really have a good time educating your friends and neighbors and doing something creative and informative yourselves. And for everybody here, let's give everyone a round of applause. You really earned it. Congratulations. Thanks, everybody at home. Good night.